The gloss, before the grind. Gloss struts in lacquered loafers, polished for praise, while grit grips grain, turns dirt, and works through days. The glittering gloat over gains, all polished and proud, while patient palms pound past pain, without saying it loud. A peacock preens in borrowed feathers, flaunting borrowed light, while one small moth keeps working through the ordinary night. The braggart blusters, boasts, and beats his chest, while stubborn hands keep doing what they do best. Gloss says, I gleam. It locks the door and calls the lock a law. Grit says, I'll learn. It finds the flaw, then studies what it saw. Gloss loves the summit, where applause makes every climb seem fine, but grit eats dust on the lower road and learns the taste of time. A tongue can trip on triumph, twist, turn, tangle, tell, but steady hands keep working when clever words don't sell. The glossy polish pedestals until every surface gleams, while roots keep splitting stone beneath the streets unseen. Roots do not boast when pavement cracks beneath their feet. They press, they push, they persist, until the stone concedes defeat. And here is the truth that vanity hates to hear. A crown may catch the light, yet rust beneath the veneer. Gloss wants the world to bow before it earns the right to lead, while relentless backs bend low and let the labor speak. So never mistake a thunderclap for the strength of steady rain. A storm may own the sky a while, the river owns the plain. Let the glossy count their trophies, bright enough to blind. Let the tireless count their scars, each one a mark of mind. For destiny is not decided by the shine you wear. It favors those who keep moving when nobody is there. When rejection shuts a door, relentlessness looks for a seam. It finds a thread of light and pulls it toward the dream. When failure bites, the faithful bite back and refuse to flee. For persistence has a quiet tooth the world may never see. And here lies the twist beneath the shine, the lesson under lust. What looks like gold may gather dust. What gathers dust earns trust. Gloss can claim the prize before the race has even begun, but relentless feet keep running when the glitters run. When banners sag and bright applause dissolves into the pall, the quiet one still standing may have outlasted all. For shine can catch an eye, but substance holds the sight. Arrogance may enter first. Perseverance owns the night. So polish your purpose, but never worship polish or pride. For what shines on the surface may have nothing underneath inside. Let gloss have its moment. Let grandeur have its grin. The mirror may win the morning, but the grind will win the end. Deep dive. The gloss before the grind. At its heart. The gloss before the grind is a cautionary poem about a very human mistake, confusing how impressive someone appears with how much substance they actually possess. The poem does not simply condemn arrogance. Instead, it places two forces beside each other, gloss and grit. One performs, the other persists. One wants to be seen doing. The other is willing to do the work when nobody is watching. The casualty in this poem is not merely a person. It is potential sacrifice to vanity. The first casualty, substance beneath appearance. The opening immediately establishes the conflict. Gloss struts in lacquered loafers, polished for praise, while grit grips grain, turns dirt, and works through days. Gloss has shoes. Grit has dirt under its nails. That contrast is important. The polished loafers symbolize someone who has learned how to look successful. The dirt represents someone willing to become uncomfortable in pursuit of something meaningful. The casualty is what happens when appearance becomes more important than development. A person can spend so much time polishing the outside that nothing substantial is being built underneath. Gloss is not necessarily evil. One of the poem's more interesting ideas is that gloss itself isn't the enemy. Looking good is not wrong. Confidence isn't wrong. Success isn't wrong. Pride in one's accomplishments isn't automatically arrogance. The danger begins when presentation replaces substance. That is why the line, "Gloss says I gleam," it locks the door and calls the lock a law, is so important. The lock becomes a metaphor for certainty. The glossy person doesn't merely say, "I know." They eventually begin saying, "Because I believe I know, there is nothing left for me to learn." That is where confidence becomes a cage. The peacock and the moth. The peacock is one of the poem's clearest symbols. A peacock preens in borrowed feathers, flaunting borrowed light, while one small moth keeps working through the ordinary night. The peacock is beautiful, visible, and admired. The moth is small, obscure, and largely ignored. Yet the poem quietly reverses expectations. The peacock is concerned with being seen. The moth is concerned with continuing. That distinction becomes the moral center of the poem. Visibility is not evidence of value. Some of the most important work happens where there is no audience. The tongue versus the hands. Another recurring contrast is between speech and action. A tongue can trip on triumph, twist, turn, tangle, tell, but steady hands keep working when clever words don't sell. This is where the tongue twister becomes more than a stylistic device. The tongue is fast, the hands are patient. Words can create an impression in seconds. Work takes months or years. The poem therefore asks followers to consider something uncomfortable. Are they listening to what someone says or watching what someone repeatedly does? Because eventually the hands expose what the mouth conceals. The roots are the real heroes. The roots splitting pavement are perhaps the poem's strongest extended metaphor. They press, they push, they persist until the stone concedes defeat. The roots don't announce themselves. They don't demand recognition. They don't hold a press conference about how difficult their journey has been. They simply keep growing. And eventually, something that appeared immovable begins to crack. That is the poem's definition of relentlessness. Not aggression, not noise, not stubbornness for its own sake. Consistent pressure applied over time. The crown and the veneer. This couplet moves the poem into deeper territory. A crown may catch the light, yet rust beneath the veneer. The crown represents status, achievement, reputation, authority, even social admiration. But the veneer represents something interesting, a surface covering something underneath. The crown may shine while the person wearing it deteriorates. That creates one of the poem's central warnings. A person can win externally while losing internally. They can accumulate applause while losing humility. They can gain followers while losing self-awareness. They can become impressive while becoming incapable of admitting they are wrong. That is a particularly dangerous form of failure because everyone else may mistake it for success. The river versus the storm. The poem then introduces another powerful contrast. A storm may own the sky a while, the river owns the plain. The storm is dramatic, everyone notices it. It is loud, immediate, spectacular. The river is different. It works slowly, quietly, persistently. And eventually it reshapes the landscape. This is perhaps the clearest statement of the poem's philosophy. Intensity gets attention. Consistency gets results. A person does not necessarily change their life through one spectacular effort. They change it through thousands of ordinary efforts that nobody applauds. The hidden casualty, time. There is another casualty underneath the poem that becomes increasingly apparent: time. The glossy person is constantly managing the appearance of success. The relentless person is investing time into becoming successful. That difference compounds. While one person is polishing the trophy, another is earning the next one. While one is explaining why they are capable, another is becoming capable. While one is protecting an image, another is building a life. And time eventually exposes which investment mattered. Failure becomes fuel. The poem becomes especially strong when it refuses to portray relentless people as people who never fail. Instead, when failure bites, the faithful bite back and refuse to flee. For persistence has a quiet tooth the world may never see. That is an important distinction. Relentlessness isn't the absence of failure. It is the refusal to let failure become identity. Failure bites. They bite back. Not through revenge, through continuation. The setback becomes material. The rejection becomes direction. The closed door becomes a seam. The scar becomes evidence. The deepest double entendre, lust. This is one of the poem's more subtle turns. And here lies the twist beneath the shine, the lesson under lust. What looks like gold may gather dust. What gathers dust earns trust. Lust works on multiple levels. It can mean desire. It can mean craving admiration. It can mean wanting the appearance of success. And beneath that is the larger warning. The desire to possess the appearance of greatness can distract someone from doing the work required to become great. The gold and dust imagery reverses expectations beautifully. Something shiny isn't necessarily valuable. Something covered in dust isn't necessarily worthless. Sometimes the dust is proof that somebody has been working. The mirror may win the morning. The ending is the poem's thesis distilled into one image. The mirror may win the morning, but the grind will win the end. The mirror represents immediate validation. The grind represents delayed reward. The mirror asks, how do I look? The grind asks, what am I becoming? The mirror wins the morning because appearance gets noticed quickly. The grind wins the end because substance compounds slowly. And that is ultimately what the poem leaves with its followers. Don't envy the person who looks ahead of you. Watch the person who keeps moving. Because some people are only ahead while the cameras are on. Others are still moving when the cameras disappear, and when the applause becomes silence, when the trophies collect dust, when the polished surface begins to crack, the only question left is, who actually built something that could endure? That is where the poem's moral lesson lands. Gloss can win attention. Grit can win time. And time is the judge that eventually removes the shine from everything.